we were basically forced to start exploring another way to do this. So we first started using Recollect in 2017, and we did this. This was a big leap for us. We started using their collection calendar and reminders. And where we had been before that, well before that, we were still sending out, I think Brittany mentioned this, we were still sending out paper calendars to people. And you can imagine how annoying that is, because you better get it right, because you're sending out something that people are going to use for the whole year. And if you made a mistake, that's a huge problem. At some point, we did go to website calendars, which previously, which replaced those paper ones. But even with website calendars, we couldn't be specific. So it was a very generic calendar that showed holidays and showed that, collection days were pushed back a day, but it wasn't specific to the residents. So as you can see, although the screenshot's kind of small, but you can see here that a resident can put in their address now, get their specific collection information. So this resident who is a Tuesday customer can see that they are going to be collected on Tuesday. This is the last week in August, and then the first week in September, which there's a Labor Day holiday. So you can see that the last week in August, they get collected on Tuesday like normal. And that's the recycling week as well. And then they can see that next week is Labor Day. So their garbage day gets pushed back to Wednesday. Again, like a big customer service improvement for us. People are able to go in and get their specific information and sign up for reminders, so that they get a text that, they'll get a text that Monday, the 29th, that says, put out your garbage and recycling the next day. And then they'll get a text on the 6th that says, put out your garbage the next day. And it just helps people stay on top of their schedule and set out their carts at the appropriate time. So just a couple of measures that we keep here. We look at our average monthly solid waste phone calls and households with collection reminders. So the phone call data is interesting, and you can ignore 2019. That was actually about half of the year's data was missing because of a phone switchover. So just kind of ignore that part. But if you look at the rest of the years, there's definitely a downward trend in the phone calls. And again, just with the growth that we're seeing every year, that's pretty remarkable that, this use of the digital tools is actually, we're getting fewer phone calls with more people in the city. So, that's a big reason why we decided to go with this, is it does help us, and it helps our Durham One Call system, which is our call agency for the city, have fewer residents that call them. People can self-serve a lot more, and we'll definitely talk about that more when we get to the bulky tools section. And then, this households with collection reminders just shows sort of the growth of the adoption of people signing up for the reminders. And you can see during the pandemic time, it really shot up. And that's what I was talking about earlier, where we were able to drive people to the digital tools to sign up for reminders and get alerts and all that. So very helpful. This just kind of shows the back end. We are, again, I've alluded to service alerts a couple of times, and this is a really handy tool for us because all of our data is segmented with Recollect down to the route. So if you're a customer and you're on a specific garbage route, let's say you're on Route 405, and on that Thursday, we're not able to finish your route for some reason. So you're kind of left wondering, did they forget me? Do I have to call in a missed collection? So we're able to send out a service alert that says to the customers on 405 and say, hey, we know we didn't finish your route today. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry about submitting a request. Again, it gives the customer information. It saves us from getting a phone call with usually an irritated customer. And we find that, the residents are, as long as you communicate with them, people are usually pretty reasonable. Of course, you have your outliers, but for the most part, people just want information. So this is what that provides. And another nice thing is we have a large large-ish Spanish-speaking population, and people we're finding with that have other languages as their first language, and they're able to sign up for these alerts in their native language, and we're able to tailor that for people. So that's a really nice thing. Our city has put a lot of effort into building a language access plan and really putting muscle behind that. So the fact that Recollect already has that ability built in is big for us.